think obviously these guys know the road we're going down. They know the path we're going down. They know what it takes to get it done. And there's always going to be a time when there's guys their first time to go up there. You're kind of trying to learn the ropes and things of that nature. And we're fortunate to maybe have some guys back. Whether that translates on the field, I guess we'll see.
Thoughts when you saw you got TCU again?
Well, we knew it was going to be the winner of that Super, and really hadn't had any thoughts. I mean, been kind of busy, and probably the only thought was don't have to watch a lot of film.
Coach, over the back end of the regular season, also the regional, and even really probably the first two games of that Super Regional, you just kind of mentioned that you guys just weren't playing your brand of baseball. You kind of hit that offensive lull, and finally, it seemed like after weeks of trying to figure it out, it just came together in that third game. Did you feel like the guys kind of finally figured it out and started hitting their stride in postseason play with that last game?
Really thought in game two. I mean, really, you could look at it in game two and probably the fourth or fifth inning go, man, we're hitting a lot of balls hard. Just not finding holes, and guys were getting good pitches to hit and putting good moves on it. And a lot of times that's how we're evaluating it, where if you're watching it from another viewpoint, you're watching the results as far as that goes. And you could kind of see it coming. And at the same time, I think during the regional, I think it's the regional and early in the Super, it's be a mistake not to say some guys pitched really well against us. So it was a combination of both, but I thought we started swinging the bats better in game two, really throughout game two.
Coach, what do you think it says about the strength of the Big 12 Conference to have two teams back playing each other in Omaha?
Well, you probably ought to say there's three. There's three going, and there's two playing each other, and we got both sides of the bracket playing. And I think it says that we got a great league. I mean, it's been a pitching-rich league for a long time. There was a time where this league got 9 teams in, or maybe 8 teams in, and the 9th place team got in. And it's not far off from where it was then. Might not be getting the credit it's due as far as RPI-wise, but I think people across the country know that when they line up and play our league, anybody in our league, you better show up.
What is it about Omaha that makes that town so special? What was maybe a favorite moment that you had when you first walked into TD Ameritrade Park a couple years ago?
I don't know if I had a lot of great moments last time other than the one that, since you asked, Andrew, the one that I do remember is Zach Davis still on third base, and just kind of giving him the green light, say, hey, get over here so we can steal home if we need to, whatever we need to do. And really that was a time in his career where you could see him coming of age, and you could see he's going to get to do some things in this game because of the speed tool. And last week that came to fruition. And probably more than anything, you want these kids to develop and play to the highest level they can. And that happened to be in a big game at the time. He could have done it out here in an inter squad, and I might have been just as proud of him. But since it was there and you asked the question, it was a big moment to me to see his development.
I remember after that slide, you told one of our coworkers, Stacy Slayton, when she was still working here, that he kind of gave you that grin, kind of like I did, Coach, kind of moment. Do you have any of those after punching your ticket for the second time just with some of your own players this past weekend?
Oh, been pretty busy, but and actually missed a few of them amongst all the hoopla we had going after the game and the celebration. And there were so many things to do and so many people to thank after that game that were down on the field. And so there'll be some of those today, and there was probably some the other day. At the same time, I think this group wants to keep moving forward, and we knew that was one of the stopping blocks along the way. We needed to win the Super Regional, and I think everybody that was a part of that the other day knows that we got to get after it today and keep this thing moving forward.
You mentioned the familiarity that a lot of these guys will have. The fact that they're playing a conference team, will that help ease any nerves for the other people that are there for the first time, just like it's a regular baseball game?
It possibly could. I think only time will tell on that. It doesn't hurt any that you don't really probably don't have to go take a tour of the stadium. When you get there with some of the guys, probably doesn't hurt any that they've seen the lights on and they've seen games played there. But as far as the new guys, only time will tell, you know, how they manage their emotions and how we manage those things. And so, but having some experience there should help. I mean, it should help a little bit. As far as who we're playing, it's a baseball game. We can line up in Abilene and play tomorrow, and we're going to try just as hard in Abilene as we would in Omaha. And the thing about it is these guys have done everything they can. I mean, we've done all we can do. I mean, you can prepare between now and Sunday, but they've put the work in. They just got to go play baseball.
Can you take any lessons from the last time you went there about the way the ballpark plays and kind of the brand of baseball that kind of applies there?
Well, you probably don't want to be playing for the 3-run home run. That's for sure. You probably need to get 90 feet when you can get it. You probably need to pitch and play defense, so I think, which is wherever the national championship was held in any league, you need to do those two things. And but as far as the ballpark, it's a beautiful place. The ball flew out of there a little bit last year, so it'll be a little bit different than when we were there in 14. So absolutely, there's things you learn about the intricacies, is that the right way to say that, of the ballpark and different things of the ballpark. And at the same time, I mean, I'd like to just put a trailer behind right field and just sleep right there every night. It'd be fine with me.
How important has Tyler Floyd been working with some of these young pitchers and dealing with you know, how they act if they need maybe a little jump start on the mound or need to settle down a little bit?
Yeah, he's a very steady force back there, and steady, just got great makeup, and he's very steady in everything he does each and every day. Obviously, that's he's shown that in the classroom. And you probably can't put a dollar amount on, you know, or value on how much value he has brought to him. I had a former pitcher here the other night. He's like, man, you keep finding those catchers that can catch. And he made the comment, he said, they're not always the flashiest guys, but they can catch. And that's a guy that pitched to AAA, and he's the best pitcher ever threw for me. And thought it was a great compliment for Tyler.
Coach, playing on Sunday, speaking of Tyler, he mentioned that he kind of likes that because there's a day between opening ceremonies. Do you think that that's an advantage for you guys to have that day?
I think so. I think to go watch a game in the ballpark you're going to play in. I mean, I think it could just be a simple deal as the wind blowing, or the infield being hard, or the infield being soft, or the grass being tall, or a mistake somebody else makes. I think anytime you get to visually watch something at a high level, you got a chance of learning something. So absolutely, it should help.
Coach, you said that you don't really know how the younger guys are going to act until it's in the moment. But looking at this past year, there's not been a moment that's been really too big for them. Does that give you confidence going to Omaha?
Well, we have a lot of confidence. I don't know that that's going to change at any point as far as that goes. When you write a lineup out and you have the 9 guys or the 12 or 13 guys to pick from, you absolutely have confidence. Now, at the same time, baseball is a game. You see something different every day, and you know you're going to see it. And so you deal with it as it comes. You know it's not going to be a game of perfect. Never has been. But you can do all you can do. I mean, you can go prepare, and you can embrace the opportunity, and just know it's not going to be perfect. I mean, has anybody's day here been perfect today? And mine hadn't, and I know yours hadn't. And but you deal with those things as they come in a game, and if we play the perfect one, we'll let you know we're chasing it, but we know it's not going to be that way.